Hello and welcome to Artsy Alley's Draw and Paint Time. Today we are going to be doing one of my favorite animals, which is a little piglet. And let's see, let's go over our supplies first. We're going to be using acrylic paint today, and we're going to be using a large brush. This is about number 12 here, flat brush, and a small brush and a medium flat brush. And the paint colors we are going to be using are black, green, blue, brown, blue, yellow, pink, and white. And if you don't have those colors, it's okay. Create with whatever you have and whatever you desire your colors to be. I'm just here to guide you in how I created my little pink piglet. Okay, let's go ahead and begin with our background. Also, to keep your paints wet during time, you can use a little spritzer of water and just keep your paints, not that high. Keep your paints moist, give them a little spray every now and then, and you should be good to go. All right, and I will guide you in nice, easy shapes, step by step, and I can't wait to see all of your piglets. Don't forget to send them to me. So let's begin with our background. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of white and a little bit of blue, and go ahead and just put on that pretty blue background. And I'm going to go probably right up to here. Let's draw a little line there. Paint in a little line. Little blue, little white, and crisscross back and forth. I like to paint fast, and this is a great way to use your video because you can paint fast, you can paint slow, you can paint at your own pace. You can pause the video at any time and just continue when ready. Oh, two of the supplies we're going to be needing is a cup of water and paper towels to dry your paintbrushes. Okay, let's get some of this paint on the canvas. Paint on the canvas. I just love painting pigs. Perfect for the springtime. Just crisscrossing above my blue line here. Pick up a little white, a little blue, and you could just do all blue if you like. Not using too much paint, but just enough. I'm just picking up a little bit of white and a little bit of blue and filling that right in. How do you know when your sky is ready? When you feel it in your heart, and then you know that that's the sky you want your piglet to be under. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and wash that off when you finish your sky. Remember, you can pause this video at any time. I enjoy painting at my own speed as you do yours, so you can pause and start any time while you're painting your piglet. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up a little bit of green and a little bit of white, and now I'm just going to crisscross the background of the grass. Little white, little green. That's a little dark for me. You could even use other colors to mix your grass in as well. Have fun with it. I like to say, enjoy the process. There are no mistakes in art. You are so unique in your own way. And art is unique. We don't need to copy anybody else. We just get ideas and make it our own. No mistakes in art. Oh, I'm really loving the way this grass color is looking. And I'm just going from the corner to corner, crisscross or nice and gliding it. Just getting that right over. Okay, so now our background is nice and dry. We are going to go ahead and draw with paint our piglet shapes. Nice, easy shapes to create this little piglet here. So I'm going to go with my little brush. I'm going to grab some white paint and I'm going to make a little reference point, kind of center high. And now I'm going to go ahead and make a curve shaped on both ends, just about so. I'm going to grab some more paint and now I want to make my piglet's ears, so I'm going to start about here. And your ears can be bigger than mine or smaller than mine, however you want your piglet's ears to look. And the great thing is, it's just acrylic paint, so we can always adjust with more paint. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit more here. And I don't like my piglet's ears to be symmetrical because they're wiggling around and moving, so I like to make them look nice and realistic, nice in different shapes. Oh, I think that should be great. All right, my next step to do is going to be make a little dot here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a wiggly square shape. Does not have to be easy, and your snout could be bigger than mine or smaller than mine, just about so. I'll just make some little nostril holes right around there. Then I'm going to go ahead and put a dot here and a dot here for my eyes, and just make little almond shapes, little curved almond shapes. So cute already. Perfect. I love when that happens. I'm just going to make my arch down to come on the sides of my eyes here. Now, underneath the snout, instead of a straight face, we're going to be having a fence underneath the face. So our piglet's going to be leaning on the fence. We're going to go ahead and make a little, maybe a reference point here and a reference point here under the eyes, and just make a nice wiggly curvy line. Now I'm going to take that line and I'm going to connect up to the top here. Make it a nice rounded shape and curve and connect. That is absolutely perfect. I can't wait. I really hope you send me your piglets, because, or your pigs, whatever you decide it's going to be. So now the next step I'm going to do is make a V shape right around here, and another V shape right around here, just floating in the grass or the sky, however big you made your piglet's face. I'm just going to go ahead and just make a little cut off there. Now I'm going to take this end of the V and I'm going to connect it up towards the face. So curve that up that way, and another curve up that way. On this side, just go ahead and connect and connect. Pretty easy, right? You got this. Art is just shape, so anything that we want to create is just a shape. We got to figure out what the shape is, and then we can create our art. So the first fence post is going to be right underneath that chin area, so I'm going to go from here, just from the edge to the arms. This is going to be my first fence post, and right behind the arm. And they do not have to be even, because if you've ever seen old fence posts and stuff, they get really weathered in the weather. No pun intended. So I'm just going to make this go right across, right behind those arms. So we got one fence post. I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of his belly, just a little bit of it, before I create the next fence post. those two curved lines? One come this way, one come that way. Your body can be bigger than mine or smaller than mine, however you want your pig to look. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a little line going across to create my next fence post. Pick up some white paint, go across. You could always make them bigger, however you want it to be, or smaller. So I'm just gliding that right across, creating my second fence post. Maybe I'll make it a little wider up here. Oh, I love that. Okay, and I'll make a little, just a little swoosh here and swoosh here to be part of the body. Depends how big you made your pig. You might have enough room for one fence post at one piece of the third fence post, or not at all, and that's okay. I'm just going straight across now. And just connecting that right around. And I think my third fence post is going to end right at the bottom here. So I'll just make a little line right at the bottom. It eventually is going to be covered with those beautiful long pieces of grass. Great. Now we're going to go ahead and let that dry. Our little lines there. And we're going to go ahead with our medium paintbrush now. Make sure you wash and dry your little paintbrush so it'll be ready for when we need it. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my pink paint with my medium brush, and I'm just going to fill in the ears, just the ears with this color. And you could go right over your white lines, it's okay. And just right up to where they attach to the pig's head, and just fill that right in. Not too much paint is needed, just a little bit at a time. Acrylic paint works so much better when you do more layers instead of all in one coat. Don't try to get it all on. I'm going to go ahead and do the other ear. And fill that right in. These are going to be some nice whimsical looking ears. Just want to put enough paint on your paintbrush. Don't need to load it too much. Great. Okay, now I'm going to take that regular paint there, and on the side of my snout I'm going to do like a C shapes. 3 right up to the edge there. These are going to work in for some beautiful shading afterwards. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Depending on how big your piglet's face is, it could be more, it could be less. And I'm going to go ahead and do that squiggly line as well, right underneath. Everywhere that I would like a shadow. Okay, I think that should be perfect right about now. Right underneath this face, you can go ahead and outline that little bit of pig arm before the V. Just right around there. Okay, now you can use a blow dryer to dry your painting right now, or you can just pause the video and let it dry on its own, and then I will meet you back here. See you in a bit. Okay, so now it's time to do our fence post, and we're going to go ahead and take the brown paint, and I'm going to put a dot here so we can see which parts of the fence post, and a little dot there and a little dot here. So I'm going to take my brown paint with my medium flat brush. I'm going to go underneath that face here, right around here, and just fill in that area now. Right up to my piglet's arm, and go ahead on the side and fill that in as well. Right to the edge of the canvas. Just glide it right around the arm, and now you can see your first fence post coming together. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to just glide it sideways so it blends in and it starts creating that nice grain that wood had. Just glide it right through. Right underneath your face. Put that nice wood grain in there. Look at that, so simple. Leaves such a nice effect. Don't forget to use the other side of your paintbrush too. That looks like a nice wood grain to me. If you want a little bit more grain in there, you could pick up on the tip of your bristles there, just tap a little bit of white and just glide it around. You want to make those pretty straight so that way it looks like grains of wood in there. Perfect. A little bit more there. And we're going to do that on the next fence post. Go ahead and pick up your brown paint. Do my top line. Just glide it right across. And at this point, if you want to make it a little bit wider, you can. You could just go right on top of that white line that you used. Glide it. This one's much easier to do because we have more room to work. More wiggle room. Right to the end of the canvas. And just back and forth. When I'm doing this type of movement, I like to keep my paintbrush doing the same movement that the wood grain would go, so I'm just going back and forth. Medium, the medium brush. Now I'll pick up a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow, and I'm just going to glide it through. Not too much pressure, just enough to graze the top of that brown. I like to do it while it's still wet so you get that more movement in there. Take a step back and look. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white just on the tips of the bristles and just glide it back and forth. Just to leave a little bit more wood grain look. Also add some nice highlights at the same time. And do a little bit more at the top. And do just a little brown. Can always mix it up. A little white. And maybe I'll even just add a little few yellow in there. I think this side needs a little more yellow. And this one, I'm going to just add a few more yellow grains of wood. Just lightly gliding. That's got so much perspective. And I'm going to start on my last one now. Take my brown paint, glide it right through. Just plain brown. Right to the edge of my canvas at the bottom. You might have a little bit more room. You just go right up to your edge, right up to your line. Perfect. Pick up a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, and glide it through. Back and forth. This little pig looks like he's going to jump over the fence. Or she. So cute. And just do a little bit, just a few slight white lines in this bottom one. Try to make it a little straighter there. Perfect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and rinse that off. And on the little V that we made for his hoofs, I'm just going to go right over that and just fill that in, just with brown. For now, we're just going to put a little brown. You can even have it coming right over that fence post. Give it even more perspective. I'm going to pick up just a little tap of black, mix some brown with it. Just make that a little darker. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rinse that off really well. Make sure you dry your bristles so that way you don't have any more dark color on there. And now it's time for our pink for the rest of the skin here. First I'm going to go in with my dark pink and I'm going to go right over the snout. Even the little nostrils, I'm going to go right over that. Right over. Cute little snout. Oh, I am falling in love with this little piglet. I'm going to take a little white and a little pink and go over the snout again. A little bit more pink until I am happy with the color. I think that should be great. And I'm going to do the same thing. Pick up a little bit of white and a little bit of pink, and I am going to go around the ear now. Just following that line. You can make it any shade of pink that you want. You just want it to be lighter than your ears. And also at this time you want this pink to also be very dry. So pick up a little pink and a little bit of white. I'm going to go right on the edge of the ear here. So sweet little piggy. Okay, so now I'm going to take, in a clear area, I'm going to take a scoop of white, a couple of scoops here, and add a dash of pink and mix those together. And I want this pink to be lighter than the snout and the ears, and definitely lighter than the wrinkles. So I'm going to start it here. Oh, that's perfect. And now I'm going to fill in everything on the face except for the eyes and the nose. I'm just going to go right around. I'm going to go right over those wrinkles because when it dries, it's going to create a wonderful effect for the little wrinkles that the piglet will have. Just fill that right in. Can't wait to see the plants and trees and flowers and everything stop blooming. I am ready for the winter to be done. So I only went over my wrinkles one time because I really want them to stand out. And I'm going to get as close to the eye as carefully as possible. Super cute. Go ahead and mix a little bit more color there. I'm going to go right over the wrinkles. And you'll see as it dries that gorgeous shading that it will create for you. Go around my knot, my little snout here. Nice smooth strokes. Oh my goodness. He's starting to come together now. Carefully around my eye. I am going to give my paint a little spritz of water. Smooth out that paint. Now, if you want, you could go ahead and switch anytime to your small paintbrush and get a little bit closer on the eye area for yourself. And then just wash my bristle. I'm going to grab a little bit more white and a little pink and give it that a nice mixture here to finish up my skin color. I'm going to go on my arms, and I am going to go right under the face and to the hooves. And do the other arm. Oops. Just picking up enough paint as needed. And I'm going to go right, make a U shape. So just the hooves, just a little bit of the hooves will be exposed. See that? And just pick up a little bit of paint, leave the edges of the hooves, but I wanted to make it a little darker. And just fan that right up. Little muddy hooves. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and rinse that off real quick. You can start seeing the shading coming in on the face as it's drying. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the body now. The body can be add a little bit more pink to your skin color because it's kind of shaded underneath that fence, so you can make it a little bit darker. And we're just going to fill in the rest of his belly area. right up to the fence. Always take a look back and look at your work and see what you think, and he is coming out so great. I'm very happy to see this piglet come to life. I'm going to go in this last area here, and carefully in between the fence line, and create the rest of his body. Look at that. Look at what we created with just nice, easy shapes. I'm just going to go over that area a little bit more. And now I'm going to take some of that color, some of the white and the pink, mix it together, and just go right over those ears again, right on the outside. I just want to give it a little bit more. See how I'm fanning it? Just fanning it right into that pink, into the darker pink. And the other ear, same thing. I'm just gonna fan it right in. Kind of hold my brush at an angle and swoosh, 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 swoosh. Create a nice highlight up there. So cute. I'm also going to put a little bit of that pink right in the center. Kind of dry brush, so not too much paint on your bristles. Lay your paintbrush flat and just wiggle. If you have too much paint on there, you could just tap it on your paper towel or your cloth and just rub it right in so it looks like chalk. And go right over the edges with that. That is looking like a sweet looking pig. All right. I'm going to go ahead with my little paintbrush now. Make sure my bristles are dry on that. I'm going to pick up some black paint, and now I'm going to go ahead and paint in my eyes. That nice almond shape here. And just fill that right in. Nice short little brush strokes. Just as much as I can control with my paintbrush. You don't want to give too much pressure when you are doing detailed work because it makes the bristles spread apart. So if you just lightly tap little tiny strokes, your brush stroke will stay smaller for you. Nice rounded shape here, almond shape. And just smoothing that out. And where my nostrils were, I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 little slits here. So cute. Alright, let's give a moment and let this all dry. You can use your blow dryer or you can go ahead and let it dry on its own. We'll be back. Okay, so now we gave a chance for the black that we added to our Piglet to dry, and now we're going to do some dry brushing. So we want to pick up a little tap of the black paint, rub some of that off, tap it on your cloth, and we're going to create some more shading with this. And I'm going to start right under the face here, and I just want it to be the consistency like chalk. So not too much, and just giving a nice shadow, laying my bristles flat and just wiggling back and forth, staying right on that pink skin there. Look at that. See that great perspective? So cute. And let's see, we can put a little shading here where the ear is at the bottom. See how there's no paint? No paint on that. Just nice little dry brushing. Nothing's barely coming off. It's just stuck inside my bristles, but it works great. I'm going to do the same to the other ear. Lay it flat and just give it a little wiggle. Creating that nice shadow in the ear. When there's no more paint, you can go ahead and pick it up. Just tap it on your cloth. That way you don't have too much on there. Just give it a little wiggle. I'll go about halfway up. Anytime you pick up that black paint for the dry brushing, just tap it on your cloth. Give it a little wiggle and a little wiggle this way. All that perspective and dimension you're putting inside those beautiful thick ears of this piglet. So cute. On the sides of the nostrils where we did those little lines, see how barely nothing is coming off. Those little C shapes, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit more, just with the dry brushing. You can see the difference. A little shadow under the eye. C shapes here, backward C's. Little dry brushing. And right here above the snout, I'm going to create a little shadow. Need a little bit more paint there. Pick some paint. I'm just going to do a little bit above the snout. Creating that nice roundness on the top of the head. Pick up a little bit more. If you need more time, just pause the video, pick up a little bit of paint. I'm going to go under the snout, create the same type of shading here. So cute. Where else do you think would be a shadow on your pig? I'm thinking right underneath this fence. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little dry brushing. Barely any paint on the brush, just enough to create a shadow. Picked up a little paint, going to tap it on my cloth, and I'm going to do a little shadow over here. Pick up a little paint. I am going to do right around this face area. right onto the arm, because his cute little big face is causing a little shade there. I think there's a little bit more sunlight on this side, but we could put a little bit. Right underneath. Gives your arm so much more thickness to it. I'll pick up a little bit of black paint. Just, oops, right under this arm. Perfect. And I also want to give the hooves on the edge. Now this part, I'm just going to pick up some paint just on the edge of my brush, and I'm going to go on the edge of the V shape of the hooves. On both of those, go ahead and do that. Nice little darkness there. I'm going to tap the black paint off so it's not too much, and I'm going to go on the side of my snout here, just on the edge of both sides, right underneath. That really makes your snout stand out quite a bit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and wash that off. We are going to go with our small paintbrush now, and I'm going to go right into my white. Give it a little wiggle. If it's been sitting there a while, you can spray it with your water as well. And I'm going to go ahead and do a nice little pupil right here in the center. Really brings our piglet to life. Perfect. And give it another little highlight here. Very cute. And now I'm going to take my little brush and I'm going to do little hairs. So I want to make sure it's not too thick. So I'm going to go ahead and spray it a little bit with water. And then on the edge, I'm going to just scroll it up. So I'm just scrolling it so there's not too much paint on there. I'm just going to go to the top of his head and stroke it up and do a few little hairs. Give him a little bit of hairiness to her inside the ear. Pretty highlights. Inside the ear again. Super cute. Maybe I'll do a few little on the tips of the ears. I want to take some white paint. I'm going to give her a nice swoosh on the top of her nose. Nice pretty highlight here. Just a swoosh. And also right here, you can do a nice highlight on the hoofs. And right there. Now where we've made the wrinkles, I'm going to give a little highlight right in front of it. And that even makes your wrinkles stand out even more. Pick up a little white paint. So much more movement and dimension in there. I'm going to do a nice one right here on the top of the cheeks because it's closer to the sunlight as well. Maybe a little bit right here, right above that shadow. So cute. Okay, so next part and the last part that we're going to be doing is the grass. Let's go ahead and take some green, and I'm just gonna start with my little brush, and I'm just gonna make a few nice little V strokes, making the grass go in front of the fence. So much perspective. I'm just taking my dark green and just making a few like V. You can have them go in front of your pig, from the bottom. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up my white paint with some of that green, and I'm going to do the same thing. Look at that. Made it look like it's right in front. Green and white. You can make as little or as many as you want, and just sporadically doing where my artistic eye tells me to put it. I'm going to take some white and some yellow, and I'm going to do the same thing right around. Go right over the other ones, or on its own, wherever you want a little bit more color. No mistakes in art. It's all our own uniqueness. I'm going to take some green and yellow and do the same thing. Pick up a little green, a little yellow. A little white, a little green. Just make some come from the bottom here, right over that fence. You can even have some wiggly ones. There's just movement. You're just creating movement in your painting now. Wherever you feel like you want some, or maybe you don't want any grass, and that's okay too. Oh my goodness, I love it. Just gonna rinse off my paintbrush here. I'm gonna go into my black paint with my little brush, give it a scroll, and I'm just gonna put a few little eyelashes on my piglet. A little bit on the edge here. Just swoosh it up. And just filling in that darkness one more time, making sure I got all the darkness filled in. Yeah, make another little shadow, a little darker here, right into the snout. Okay, so I feel like this is pretty much done. How is your piglet looking? How do you know when it's done? When you feel it in your heart and you know that you love it. And put a few little black hairs in there as well. Super cute. Now I am going to, let's see, I'll use some black paint. I'm going to sign artsy here at the bottom. And you don't have to sign your painting on the front. You can also sign it on the back if you like. Thank you so much for painting my pig with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!